Both directors of rugby. Tonight, Pat Lam, Alex Sanderson. Isn't this nice? We don't often get this. Two DORs on opposite teams standing next to each other. It's a new thing.
Happy New Year, everyone. Good to see everyone.
Good to see you guys.
Sorry, I was thinking you're talking about the weather and all that as well. It's about as good as it gets, Sarah, especially for this time of the year. This time of year, you know, yeah.
It's freezing.
It's a little bit cold around the collies, but you don't have that
No,
issue.
I got enough of that to keep me warm.
Yeah.
I know it's really nice actually to have this. So how much do you guys get to speak to each other on a night like tonight, on match night?
Yeah, I mean, we always. I mean, a lot of us all played against each other, and obviously we have a lot of respect. But Alex and I always start with a bit of a hug and catch up on socially, and then talk about how everything's going. I think one of the things about the roles we're in, we're probably the only ones who really understand everything that happens in our jobs and what we do, and so it's always good to catch up.
You were mentioning earlier on that both of you two played against these guys back in your heyday. What are your memories?
Well, I don't know about Oz, but I'm glad I'm 2 places away from Pat, because I actually remember, if you remember this, Pat, I didn't score many tries in my career, but I did sidestep you once when you were playing for Northampton because you didn't expect it. And I went over and scored.
He's dining out on that, Pat.
And I also managed to get a cheap shot in on Matt Dawson as I landed. It was from 1.8 metres or something, but you're looking like you can't remember it, but maybe it's back. It's the demons are going to, when the lights go out tonight, you remember that.
Are you happy more about the cheap shot on Dawson than you are about the try? Yeah,
the try was inconsequential. We lost the game by about 20 points, but I got Dawson, and I played with and against Al for many years, and it was as unpleasant playing against him as it is pleasant standing next to him now. So,
are you not going to mention the bit that you told me pre-match?
Well, I didn't know if we're allowed to talk about that actually on telly, but there was a game once, so we targeted you, and I thought, right, I'm going to get him, and I did my best to whack you on, and I remember you laughed. It didn't quite connect and got up and came back out the second half. My hand was in this little cast with bandages on it, so I didn't.
Like a Keith Lemon bandage.
I tried to hit Al, and it basically didn't work, and I busted my hand, and he laughed about it. But apart from that, it went great for me.
Mine are very similar, actually. I remember running over the top of Pat twice at Welford Road for 2 tries. And then my last game for England was with Al, watching him try and control the ball at the back of the scrum. It was very clear and evident at that point that his brain wasn't actually connected to his feet, and that cost me a place in the World Cup squad. So thanks very much for that.
Your comments now.
My own place in the World Cup squad as well, mate. So at least you went over there. I didn't even go over. I got dropped in the 33-man squad.
Speaking about going after people, I think most of us, when I was playing for Northampton, used to try and go after this guy.
There you
Easier
go.
said than done.
Yeah, I can't see why. Had to make friends and influence people.
The whole game. He was commentating.
I think they were just jealous of my beauty.
It definitely wasn't that. What are your memories playing against each other? What were your first impressions of each other?
Well, the first was actually with his brother, Pat. Remember, again, both Northern, tough, very physical. And, I think when I look at both Pat and Alex, a lot of passion. I think everything we've seen with his coaching is probably exactly what he was like as a player. And I'm really pleased for him and what he... Not only as a player, but what he's turned into a great coach.
Oh, that's nice.
Kind words, yeah. I hope someone's recording it.
Yeah, I think people are watching it. You're fine.
I mean, just if I could, reply to that. Like, I was always a Pat Lam fan as a player. Like, I wanted to grow up like Pat Lam. The style in which he played, how dynamic he was, a really good leader. And from being a player who was a Pat Lam fan, I'm now a coach who's a Pat Lam fan. He's done great things at Connacht, and he started what should be a legacy at Bristol as well moving forward, and he's been integral in both of those environments, and he still looks younger than me. So the question I've got was like, what keeps you going? Like, where are you getting your drive from, Pat? Because you've got a few years on me still.
Yeah, I mean, I think when we're all talking about here and we have great memories, we're all passionate about the game, and I think the big thing about with coaching, playing was definitely easier. And with coaching, you're trying to get everyone to... You really want people who are passionate about the game as well, and trying to all set them down the path, but really trying to understand the game. It's a lot different. Like, we used to watch the game all the time where, there's so many things that these guys can do, and trying to get them, the players that understand the game normally come through and do well.
Do you know what I find really interesting, though? Because you were both brilliant players, but different style of players. And looking at, from the outside, looking in at the way your teams play, seemingly that you've got 2 very different styles of coaching as well. When you enjoy defence a lot, and you enjoy attacking a lot. So, okay, if that's the case, would you explain these stats for us? Let's get these stats up for you, right? This is Gus Waugh and Harry Randall, right, stats. They both, they've got identical passing and kicking numbers. So that is quite surprising, would you not say, given how different your styles are?
Well, I think the game's changed, and this is probably what my question was for Alex, because, you know, and obviously he picked up pretty quickly that we're kicking a lot more. And I mean, the game's evolved, but certainly the kicking is pretty predominant, and teams that kick a lot more seem to have more success, and it was said after the World Cup. My question probably is, what rule change would you bring in to probably bring back a bit more attack? I have something in mind about it, but I've been thinking about it a lot, because at the moment it's a lot of kicking and defence, and you have to join in, and we've sort of joined the party at the moment as well. Don't get me wrong, we want to move the ball and so forth, but there's so much jeopardy in that middle of the field that, yeah.
Yeah, well, for us, like, for the most part, we've got some big units up front, and for us, with our power game, as we talked about before, whether it be defence, scrum or maul, or just hitting the line hard repeatedly in the 22, you need to be able to manage those guys' energy beams. I think rolling subs would be a great introduction. I know they've done it elsewhere in the world, so I mean, you could just roll them on and off, and you keep their energy levels high, and it means you could have a go from further out, because you're not, you know, burning them or drinking too deep from the well, where in the last 20 minutes you'll be looking to, you know, to hang on, claw like nails. You'll be able to bring some lads on and off strategically and keep their energy at a constant over the course of the 80.
Do you know what? I reckon us three could literally put our mics down now and walk away, because these two could present.
I want to know what your law change would be.
I was thinking about this, and I think if you could mark anywhere in your half, all right, over here normally you can kick it out, but if you mark it between the 22 and the halfway, that you have 5 seconds to quick tap it. If you don't, the team that kicked it get the scrum. And so we'll take away the kick, and you have to go, and you have to counter. One pass, then you can kick. You can't kick it straight away. And I've been thinking about this in training and how we do it and stuff, because just, again, bringing more counter back into it and just balance that up a little bit more.
I swear, like, genuinely, you two can stay all programme if you want, but I know you guys want to go back to your teams. Thank you so much.
It's okay, I've just booked them a room together at the Manchester Hilton. You're in 147.
Guys, thank you so much. We let you two go. That was so good. Thanks, gents. Do you want to give me your mics? There you go. We'll take that.